What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. Today we are doing the first ever VOD review of set 16, baby. As you can see in the bottom right here, this was an absolute privilege. I was absolutely blown away that I even got the opportunity to do this. I went out to Riot Games to test set 16 in person, had an absolute blast. I think Kai's gonna be putting out a video that has more kind of like cool actual content of like the stuff outside of, you know, just the actual playtest itself. Also, I need to bring this down to way lower than 2x speed. Let's do like 1.2x here to do it, because there's a lot of stuff going on here. You can pause. I will, you know, kind of talk through some of the lines and stuff that I played this game, but if this is you guys' first time ever seeing set 16, one of the most important things to know is that the set mechanic for this set is unlocks. The way that this works is there are 100 units in set 16, and so the way that you get access to the extra 40 units is by completing little quests in game. So you'll do different things, and these will unlock a unit. That unit will be guaranteed to appear in your next shop, and then it will exist in your unit pool. So we'll get to more unlocks later. This game plays around a really cool unlock that I can't wait to play around more. But yeah, start off here. Exile's Placebo, good for something here. I started off with a few Yordles. I don't think this is the game where I was really considering playing Yordles. Yordles is like one of these reroll style lines here. Yeah, I mean, I roll over, I see Slice of Life, which I'm like, this is like okay. I'm not that excited about any of these too much, so I roll everything, and I see this do augment, Flow of Tears. You gain a tier, and after your team spends 7,500 mana, gain 2 more. It's interesting. I mean, for a silver augment, once you get to that, you know, double tier at the end there, I mean, it's insane value, right? The problem is it takes until like stage 4, stage 5 to really get that, so I don't think it's actually that amazing at the end of the day. But hey, I want to get some casts off, so I make this Nashor's here. I make Nashor. Do I make a Nashor? I feel like Nashor's Gargoyle is what I would make here. Yeah, I do make Nashor's Gargoyle here in the setup. So to talk through our traits a little bit, we actually have some pretty boring traits in right now. This isn't actually like leaking anything, so I think it's fine that I showed that on screen, but I wanted to mute because there were some people muted. So Poppy we just unlocked here. The unlock condition for Poppy, I think it is just like field a couple of Yordles, or no, it's have a Demacian or a Yordle with 2 items equipped. So that's how I unlocked Poppy. You can see we have all of these other Yordles that are potentially unlockable, and so we put the 2 items on Lulu and we unlocked Poppy. So now Poppy, you see right there, guaranteed to appear in my shop, the next shop, and now she just exists in my game of TFT as a unit. She has normal shop odds, as same as all other 2 costs. So she's just a 2 cost that you can hit in your shops. But this guaranteed piece of it, I think, is really interesting. I'm also going to speed up a little bit. Let's do 1.5x. I think that's a good happy middle here, because like I don't think you want to have like too many people or too many people. I don't think you want it going too fast. I've done that before, and it's felt really overwhelming. But yeah, so to kind of like talk about just the traits that we have in right now, which once again, pretty boring. Arcanist gives AP. We've seen this trait before. Defender is essentially the same thing as Bastion, if I remember correctly. I think it just, gives armored MR. Ixtal's a really cool trait. I don't think that this game I got to play on Ixtal, but Ixtal is one of these loot traits. It's a 3. You need Nico, you need Kiana, and they need Melio as well to get 3 Ixtal. The really cool thing about Ixtal is it gives you these quests when you put Ixtal in, and then when you complete that quest, it gives you a certain number of sun shards based on how hard the quest was. So you can have a quest that just says like roll your shop 10 times or something, and that might give you like 50 sun shards. But then you can have other quests that are really hard. I had one that was alternate winning and losing for 6 rounds. So you have to go win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, or lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. If you do that, you get like 450 Ixtal shards, which almost gets you to the, I think it's 500, where you get like an important unlock from Ixtal. Is that how you get Brock? I think that's how you get Brock, which is it is the Nexus from Nexus Blitz that gets up and walks around. It's like actually, they really cooked with this set. They really just, I feel like, tried so many you know, interesting, like wacky things that you would not be able to do in a normal TFT set, but they're able to do stuff like that, create, you know, these crazy units. Also, as you can see, people walking around behind me in the back while I'm playing. One of the really cool things about this experience is that we had the devs legit just walking around behind us. I got to talk to, you know, the lead dev on this set and some of the other devs on this set a lot, and they're literally just walking around, being like, "Oh, you played this comp? How did it feel? How did your game go?" And I was like, "Oh, you know, I did this thing, but you know, it didn't work out, or it did work out." I also got really afraid for a second that I was going to lose my board, and then I scouted and it came back, but I was kind of worried for a second there. But it was really sick. One of the devs baited me into that Ixtal cash out, actually, where I was like, 450 stacks, that's a lot, but how am I going to win loss? And it was like, but 450 stacks. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll try it. And then I never got that cash out and I died. So yeah, I'm scouting a lot of stuff here. I really don't want to like completely overwhelm you. And I know there is stuff like, you know, all these websites that will have all the trait information out there. So I'm really just going to talk through, you know, what we played throughout the game. Demacia is a cool one since I am hovering it, where you lose HP and then the Demacians like rally, they get less mana. I mean, it's to cast, it's a really interesting trait. And so I'm holding on to pieces of it. I do also have this Aphelios in here, which does go towards what we're thinking of doing this game, which is Targon. What's really cool about Targon is their entire trait web is threats. Every single Targon unit has no traits, but they have really strong abilities to make up for it. So I'm pretty sure Aphelios shreds he sunders. Zoe shreds. One of them heal cuts. I don't know if does Zoe heal cut as well? There's like so much stuff going on with these units, actually. Like they just do a ton of work, and they have some really cool unlocks, which, you know, maybe we'll see later. But yeah, I'm just really trying to figure out what kind of board I want to play here. I think this 4 Arcanist board is doing decently enough for me. The Lulu honestly is like not doing as much as I would have hoped. We rotated this guy, by the way, who has this Rumble Hero augment. So, you know, Rumble's a tank here, but you get the Rumble Hero augment and he becomes a carry, shooting all of his kind of like his flame spitters out. It's actually like so cool, actually. And yeah, I checked floating tailors. I'm like, oh, I'm like barely half the way there, which is kind of rough here. The main thing that's going through my head, by the way, is I have a blue buff. Who the heck is a blue buff carry? And I'm like scouting everything, trying to figure out like, okay, what do you do with all this stuff? This is actually a really cool new augment as well. Advanced Loan Plus. You can 35 gold right now, which is an insane amount, but your next augment is a tier lower. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, this seems like hard to pick. Like, your next augment being a tier lower is a pretty big downside. Oh, and I do see this new one, and I'm like, I gotta take the new one, and look at Darkin here. So there's only 2 Darkins in the game. There's Atrox and Zahen. Zahen, the only way you can get it, by the way, is you need to get the Xinjiao hero augment and then play Xinjiao, and then you get Zahen, and then you actually have to sell Xinjiao to actually play around Zahen. Super cool. I got to see this guy, and maybe this game he shows up, but like really crazy. Atrox is another one of these unlocks. You need to be level 8 and have a champion who starts with a 40% Omnivamp, which is pretty hard to get to, but not impossible. So those are the only Darkins, and so I say I'm going to take this Darkin augment, because the really interesting thing about Darkin is these are all new artifacts that exist in this game. They created these new Darkin items as artifacts. But the other really cool thing is if you put a Darkin artifact on a unit, that unit then becomes a Darkin, so that counts towards you getting more Darkin, getting up to those higher Darkin levels, which are really interesting. So this is a cool one. Darkin Bow. They all gain the Darkin trait, 30 AD and 30 AS. Every 10 attacks, fire an arrow that passes through the current target, dealing 5% basic AD as physical damage, reduced 33%. So it's just like an AD auto attacker one that does these like big arrows, which is really cool. I'm thinking obviously of playing more towards AP. I kind of wanted something like tanky here. This is AP and mana here. Every 20 mana sent, it lent to tendril enemies near the current target, dealing 0 magic damage. I don't know if the 0 was real or fake, but I got kind of scared off of taking this by the fact that it said 0. I don't know if that was like, once again, real or fake. Darkin Aegis gives, you know, it's a tank item here, Armor and Mar plus HP. Every second, deal 1% of your max HP as magic damage to enemies within 2 hexes. When you inside the area, heal for 2 max HP. And I was like, you know what? I need a tank one. And let's look at this last one. AD and AP. Every 4 seconds, slash adjacent enemies for 100% basic AD damage. As physical damage on takedown when the holder dashes. or when the holder dashes slashing in. Oh, that's actually really cool. I didn't really look at this one. I was like, I need a tank one, so I'm going to take the Aegis. The only thing about the Aegis is, you know, I really want to get to higher levels of Darkin, right? I mean, 3 is quite hard to get to, but I was like, oh, I could get to 2 Darkin, you know, if I have the Darkin one and then I have Atrox as well. I didn't even realize, by the way, the 2 Darkin is you heal for 25% of player damage, so it's one of these like healing ones. But you know, Darkin getting 15% Omni Vamp on its own is just, you know, kind of nice. It gives that unit the extra Omni, and so part of this game I am chasing the quest of trying to find Atrox. I'm like, okay, I already get 15% Omni Vamp onto the unit that this goes onto from Darkin. So I just need to get another 25%. And I also realized there is Omni Vamp in this set. I was like looking through all the traits. I'm like, what traits have Omni Vamp on them? Slayer actually has Omni Vamp, so you can get 10 or up to 15%. Well, up to 20 technically, but you can get 10 or 15%. And so, okay, you have the 10% plus that other 15 that you get from Darkin, so I just need like another 15 to get there. So I was like, okay, this is actually quite doable. I just need to get a couple of Slayers in here. So it's very doable, but you know, I just have to make it there, which is, it's like I said, you know, something worth considering. And this Wukong as well. I don't end up holding him actually. I think maybe like flex play, I should have played around him because I could have fit Ionia in here with him plus the Shen there. Ionia is a pretty cool vertical. It is it's the Mirage of this set, where every game your Ionia shifts around to like a different Ionia effect here. But yeah, you can see these riders walking behind me, watching me play, so that, you know, wanting to see what's going on, what's going through my head, how I'm thinking about stuff. This is also a really cool play test because I got to play test with some other influencers. I loved our lobby. Got to play against Kai Watanabe and dunk on this fool. Got to play with Panny Andrew as well. Saint Vicious was in our lobby. Bloody was in our lobby. Yeah, who else was in our lobby? Trisha's a birdie was in our lobby. I'm trying to remember the last few. I'm not gonna be able to remember. It was Bunny Muffins. It was actually, I got to meet Bunny Muffins for the first time face to face in LA, which was really fun. Just because, you know, the TFT YouTuber meetup, I guess. We're the main YouTubers there. I guess Kai is also kind of a YouTuber / streamer. He does it all, honestly. But yeah, it was a blast here. So here's me just trying to figure out, like, what am I gonna play? Like, who's gonna hold on to this blue buff? Like, who's a carry that like wants to use all this mana? We do level up here and just play this 4 Arcanist 4 Defender setup here, which is, you know, pretty chill here. But I will say the game's been pretty tame so far. I think this is a great, you know, like first game for you guys to watch to kind of like understand what's going on in the set. But around stage 4, we kind of start to go off the rails. Anytime you are playing a new set of TFT, I'll say, if you want to play for LP, which is certainly not what I was trying to play for here, I was just trying to try new stuff out and, you know, see what goes. You should probably just play your, you know, verticals and play more and more, you know, good units. I did not do that this game. I essentially like full pivot my board later on stage 4. I'm just, you know, I want to go crazy this game. One of the other interesting things they did this set, by the way, if you look at my my XP here, it is 60 gold to go to level 8. They increased the gold significantly to push level 8. And what the devs said when we asked them about this is that, you know, they wanted to make it more of a decision whether you want to, you know, like level or roll. You know, do you want to, because at this point it's become kind of like a default, where you essentially have to go, you know, fast 8 on 4-2 and play for that if you're playing around 4 costs. Now, because they've kind of created this, you know, increased barrier to you getting there, now, you know, you say, do I want to roll on 6 and, you know, stabilize harder? Do I want to roll on 7, you know, and stabilize around 3 costs? Do I want to roll on 8, but later on like a 4-5 roll down? Do I still want to go 4-2 with much less gold and then just use that to tempo? There's a lot of interesting stuff here. By the way, this trait that I fight here, Piltover, that creates this Hex Gate, I'm pretty sure this trait's going to be broken. One of the Hex Gate upgrades, it's kind of like an upgrade that can hit like the whole board usually. One of them literally like mana reaves your entire board, just makes all of your abilities cost like 30% more. Like, what? It's like actually crazy. All right, new augment here, component Heist. After 6 player combats, gain 1 of every item component, which it also has comments remaining 5, which is funny. I think it's interesting. I feel like it takes too long to do something, like, but but like I was like, I can't take this, but it does seem interesting. I see invested plus here, which I'm not that sure about taking. I just kind of want generic combat here, so I take Giant and Mighty. I know, boring, not a new augment, but the heist one sounded so bad in my spot. So here is where I get the idea of like, wait a minute, I'm looking through the 5 costs. I'm like, what could I play around? And I find Aurelion Sol in my planner. His unlock is 5 unique Targonians. So you have to play all the other Targonians to unlock Aurelion Sol here. So that is that's how you you get him on your board. And so I start putting all the Targons into my team planner. And one of the things that I realized a little bit later is you need to use Targonians. You need to use the Targonians to get to the other Targonians. I'm also going to make Vow here because I need a tank item. So you need Leona. You need to field an itemized 2-item Leona. I'm pretty sure it's to unlock Diana. That's how it works. Yeah, so I'm hovering it over. See, I will say one of the things, 2-star Leona with 3 equipped items is how you unlock Diana. One of the things I will say they knocked out of the park, and it's actually like insanely important this set, is the UI clarity. If you want to know how to unlock a unit, open your team planner and throw them into it. If you are just playing a trait and you want to play more of a unit, then, you just want to play like more Arcanists, more Yordles, you can hover over them in the, Arcanist trait. There's actually so many ways. There's also an outside of game thing that you can look at and just say, okay, like I want to figure out how to unlock, one of the hardest units in the game to unlock, Silas, which you guys can look for yourself. He has a crazy unlock condition, so much so that I did not get to see a single game on playtest of Silas because it's just so much work to unlock him. But hey, if you want to unlock Silas, you can look at that outside of game and then, go into game and say, okay, I want to do this. One of the other cool things they did actually is they kind of have like, it's almost like an achievement system for like each unlock, which I think is so cool. Oh, I'm so excited for this to go on PvE. I'm so excited to play this set. Like, I do think this set actually has very good potential for best set of all time. And I know I am probably not that, reasonable of a source on stuff like that because I think every set's gonna be the best set of all time. But like, legitimately, I saw power-ups and was like a little bit afraid for some stuff. I saw unlocks, and there are always going to be potential concerns, but I think they have a really, really good set mechanic on their hands here. I'm very, very excited. So we finally get our double tier here at 4-5, which, not too bad here, but I'm like, I got to level 8. I got to start, rolling and, finding some kind of, strong board to play around at this point. So I level up here. I have these Ionias on the board with R here. I don't even remember my Ionia bonus is this game. But I am certainly going to make the red buff here. I need the heal cut. I'm holding the tiers with the idea that I need to make a healing item out of them. But what I realized later is Aatrox, I thought it was get to 40% Omnivamp. It does not say get to 40% Omnivamp. Very crucially, it says start combat with 40% Omnivamp, which means that Hodge, I don't believe, can actually proc it. And so I kind of realized later, I'm like, I kind of need to build a BT. Like, that's the only way that I'm going to make it there, which is pretty unfortunate. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, honestly. I got to go back and look at it. This is a highly complex set. But one of the things I will say is literally, I think the first question somebody asked when we were talking to the devs is like, isn't this going to be like super overwhelming? Like, how are new players going to like deal with this? And I do think for the first one, the thing they said, which I think is actually like very true, is for the first game, it's really overwhelming. You're like, what is going on? And the second game, you like find an unlock that you really want to go for. You're like, oh, I really want to chase, Aatrox this game, and you get it. And then you kind of get it after that. And then after that, the game becomes a lot more playable. Rise! I play Rise here. I think I specifically looked for Rise because I'm a beast, by the way. Rise, one of the coolest units in the set. So the way to unlock Rise is you have to play 4 different regions here. So I played Targon, really easy to play because it's obviously the one dude here. Played Ionia, Void, and Yordle. So 4 different, regions here. I do think it's going to become quite optimized. It's quite easy to get 2 Void in, obviously. 2 Zaun's another easy one to get in. I think Vi is Zaun and Piltover. So I think kind of like a Void Zaun Piltover plus, 1 Targon is really easy to get. Now, that's not where the interestingness leaves with Rise. The really cool thing about Rise is His ability just says, throw Runic Blast, deal 350 magic damage. It splits in two, dealing 30% damage to closest to enemies. Each secondary blast splits in additional time. So it's, well, actually, don't read that last line. He basically throws the blast and it splits. What's really cool, though, is as you add more of these regions to your board, it upgrades your Rise's ability. So he benefits from all of the region's traits. So because we have an Ionia, the blast splits in additional time. Because we have Void, they ignore Armor and Mar. Because we have Yordle, it shrinks the target to lowering their damage by 12% for 4 seconds. This is such a cool unit. So you can build your own Rise. They said, well, what did it have to say? There were like 5,000 different Rise combinations or something like that because of all of the different permutations of regions that you can play. Like, oh, it's so cool. It's just so cool. I can't wait. There's just so much stuff I want to play on PvE. So we're rolling down this round, which it's so hard always to roll down and do stuff like this. But I want to get all this Ionia in. I also want to make the healing onto the Belveth here so that I can get what I want here. So yeah, I get a bunch of Targon in here. Don't yet have the Leona 2, which I realized kind of a bit late. I'm like, oh crap, I need to hit Leona 2 with 2 items so that I can actually find this. Throw the Darkin item onto her. Then I also realized, oh wait, I kind of need the Darkin item to go on the Belveth here so that I can get the Omnivamp. So, oh yeah. This fight's a mess. This fight is an absolute mess. So the next few fights, I will say, are absolute messes. Fiddle is back, by the way. This kind of Fiddle who like freezes himself and then he kind of unlocks himself after more of your units die. So cool. I low-key think I take double Hodge here so that I can get to the Omnivamp I need. But my main thing is I have to roll down here. Pick up Annie. Annie's really cool. Zillion's really cool. I mean, they're all cool. Annie's cool. You field her. She has a huge mana. It's like 140 mana or something. When she casts, she heal cuts the board for the entire rest of the fight. And what Annie also does is she has Tibbers as a second unit that you can field when you play her. So she's 2 units for the price of 1. They do take 2 unit slots though. Don't think that Tibbers is a free unit. You have to use a unit slot to play Tibbers, but Tibbers is a really cool unit who scales with Annie's star level. And the other cool thing about him is you can put items onto him. You know, I always think of Tibbers as being like a summon or something, but no. Oh, Azir is such a cool... Shurima is such a cool trait as well. It's this trait where the only way to get a lot of the Shurimans is to play Azir, and like Azir unlocks the other ones. He's kind of like conditional. Like you play Azir, and then playing Azir allows you to unlock like Nasser-Renekton, and then you can also unlock... Who is the last one? There's one more like big Shurima. Azerath, I think, right? And so this is like the like giga win out, but like really hard to get because I'm pretty sure you have to like win... You have to win multiple or lose multiple fights in a row to unlock Nasus or Renekton. It's just, there's so much going on here. So I finally unlocked Diana. I'm like, please, I need one more round to unlock Aurelion Sol. I do unlock Aatrox here, finally. And so I'm like, okay, bless. I have the Aatrox that I can play here. I also have the Diana that I can play. So I can get out of some of this kind of awkward stuff and, you know, get into the stuff that matters. I don't really see anything crazy that I want here. So I do opt to just take the GS here, but I'm really just like, please let me live, please let me live, please let me live, because like this spot is obviously very scary. Double Diana and Aatrox. Obviously, Aatrox guaranteed. The second Diana wasn't guaranteed, but I hit it. There's also a Taric pair here, and I'm like, I need to roll down here. I find Belveth too, which is good. I really want to find Taric too to get some extra frontline going on here. But yeah, this is my board for now. 5 Targon, which there's no bonus for playing 5 Targon, but they are all just good units. So that's cool. So I throw this onto him, and I'm just like, please let me live here. Fighting a pretty strong Void board. Void, by the way, you see Rift Herald here, clickable unit. Baron Nashor, a 7 cost, this said. Yes, they went higher than 5 costs because some of these units are so crazy. Baron Nashor, a 7 cost here. I'm just so thankful that I win this fight because this allows me to finally cash out here and get my Aurelion Sol. I feel that 5 unique Targonians, and so I'm like, finally, boom, and we get top 4 locked in here, which I was kind of scared I was going to die here. So we unlock Aurelion Sol. This unit is really cool here. You can see a lot of text here. So every time he does ability damage to an enemy, he gains Stardust, and this makes his ability more powerful. And so his active is just crash a star on the target, deal magic damage at 2 hex radius. But every time you do it, you start getting these Stardust and you start upgrading them. So at 20, you gain a Shockwave. At 60, it deals more damage. At 100, it deals bigger. At 175, it knocks up. At 250, it increases to a 10 radius. At 400, the Star Crash deals 25% true damage. At 600, also comes down a Meteor Storm. And then at 1199, it summons a black hole that instantly kills everybody. So yeah, I mean, this unit's pretty sick. The one thing that I realize after I played this is, oh crap, Aurelion Sol is a scaling unit. It's 5/6, and I'm getting him in just now. If I had known he was such a scaling unit, I would have, tried to get him online a bit earlier. I think the dream is you get, your Leona 2 pretty quickly, you get your Diana in, and you get him, like stage 4 or something like this. End of stage 5 is pretty rough. The upside, though, is he does scale pretty quickly. You see, we already got to the first upgrade here. So yeah, he scales pretty fast. So not the end of the world here, but certainly, a little bit scary here. But yeah, you can see Zoe, she provides the Amar Shred. He sunders. So we actually don't really need a lot of these extra items that we have, stuff like the Ionic Spark here, because we are just getting a Marsh Shred from the Zoe. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it kind of guaranteed, but yeah. The other awkward thing is this is a playtest. People are playing high cap, and I'm stuck here on level 8 rolling for my 2-star 4 cost, but I'm like, I just gotta hold on here. I hit Diana 2 here. I don't actually remember what Diana does. Ability damage from your strongest Leona and strongest Diana marks enemies is Moonlit. Oh, wait, that's really cool. I'll talk about this in a sec. She gains a shield. She boasts a bolt of lunar energy at the farthest non-lunar enemy, deals magic damage. Oh, and then she dashes to all moonlit enemies. Yeah, really cool. So you can see here with this Leona Diana thing, one of the things that's really cool about Unlock is it allows them to kind of create these like unit synergy abilities where Diana and Leona have two abilities that work together. And normally that would be quite weird because, you're like, oh, you have to play them together. But, I mean, you unlock Diana by playing Leona, so it makes a lot of sense. Return to Baron Nashor here, actually. I'm surprised this guy, because you have to hit level 10 to get to Baron Nashor. I'm actually surprised. I guess this person went 10 with their whole board being 1-starred, because Baron Nashor is quite a fearsome unlock condition, but we actually kind of cleared it. Well, maybe they'll buff Baron Nashor. GG's, guys. Some really scary boards on the rest of the board. I will pause when we look at the next board that we fight here, just to kind of show off what their board looks like here, because there's some crazy stuff out here. So let's see what we get here. Yeah, it's the furthest enemy within 4 hexes. So Diana is a Kali positioning as well. So keep that in mind. Oh yeah, so this person has a really cool Rise board where they have, I'm not even going to try to say, they definitely have Ionia, they definitely have Targon. I think they maybe had Zon in. It's definitely Ionia, Targon, some other stuff. Maybe I'll hover over them. But my board's pretty strong, but I fight this guy and then realize, ooh, they have a very even stronger board. Yeah, I think maybe I hover over them here. Yeah, okay. So they have Ionia, Zon, and some other stuff in here probably. They also have all this stuff in. They have Shyvana, who like turns into a dragon. They have 2-star Set, who is the boss Set here. They have this cool Singed, where Singed is the poison Singed, where he runs around the entire board and poisons everybody. I mean, there's just so many cool units. But you can see, actually, I stacked this up pretty quickly. I'm already at 175. So I do think, like, if you could actually get this ASOL in early enough, like stage 4 or something like that, like, you can actually stack them up really well. Oh, there's a Yordle board that we fight here, actually. Yordle is this really cool board where once you get to the higher levels of Yordles, it starts spawning these, it's called like Yordle grab bags. They can have duplicators in them. They can have gold in them. I think they can have items in them. Also, my Diana stashed around the whole board. She looks so cool. I die here. Yeah, I mean, it is just, the rest of the lobby is way too strong here. And I think I get up. So I don't know if I watched the rest of this. So we can watch, well, let's watch like a fight between these two boards here, just to see Yordles versus this capped Rise board. But I'm already at 29 minutes because I did not slow down the video at all. So I think I will need to hop out here. And dude, I'm losing my voice. I was yelling a lot today, and now I did all these. Yeah, I think the Rise board just wins out here. But yeah, I mean, one, shout out to Riot Games for inviting me for this playtest. It was an absolute blast. I had so much fun. I don't know how I created this black bar around the thingy, but I think it wasn't like that the whole it was so much fun. Thank you so much to Riot for inviting me out to this, and all I can say is I am so excited about watching and playing this set. I am so hyped. And the Paris Open is gonna be on their set. It's gonna be so hard, man. There are going to be there's gonna be so much tech for this set. It's gonna be insane. So thank you guys for watching. As always, if you guys want to learn all of the tech, check out my Metafy down below. Get some coaching for next set. You can always get it ahead of time and use it. Check out my Twitch, where I am going to be streaming again now that the set's out. PB comes out next week. I'm going to be playing a lot during PB. All right, this video is 30 minutes long. I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching as always.